Condensate pump for heating and air conditioning. Question. First, what is a condensate pump? A condensate pump, as the name bespeaks, removes condensate, which may be like water where it hits the A coil, drains off, comes out of a pipe, something like, say, a 3/4 inch PVC. But sometimes one needs help to get the liquid uphill as opposed to downhill. And in order to get it uphill, it may need a motor to assist. And this is what the condensate pump is. So the 3/4 line could go in here, could go in here, could go in here. And then on this side here, this is where the 3/4 line would eject it. This is a 110 pump. And so I'm not certain if they make higher voltage or not, but that's notwithstanding. Say this would be a 3/8 inner diameter. You would just put a clear hose on this, put it up, zip tie it. Just be sure not to crimp it, because if you crimp it, you're defeating your purpose, and you may burn your motor up as well if the water's trying to pump and it can't freely exit the building. So notwithstanding, it works off of 110. Be sure, try to make sure you always have a ground here. But the question and the topic here are these two wires here. We have the big wire, and then we have the two wires, the small wires. Now, the one may ask, well, what are these wires for? Now, the HVAC gurus can chime in. I think these wires here, if this bucket or this pan gets full at a certain point, and say hypothetically if this were to get stopped up, once this gets stopped up and the water can't flow, as opposed to the water coming over and cresting over, and the reason one would have a pan, you could hardwire this into the low voltage on your red wire. Now, maybe the HVAC gurus can help me out here. I believe you could wire it in on your yellow wire if your yellow wire goes to the condenser too. But let's just hypothetically say we wired it in, split the red one side, grab the other side with the red. So what would this do? If the water comes up long enough, it would act like a relay, and then it would shut this pump off. So, let me rephrase that. That may be incorrect. It may shut the system off, because the electricity has to make a full circle. It needs to go all the way around 360 degrees. So if we short this out, or we open the circuit or the relay, I don't know what nomenclature would be good, but if we open that, then it would shut the entire system down. So what happens after the entire HVAC system is shut down? Simply put, the unit stops running. So the A coil stops running, the refrigerant stops moving, the compressor stops moving. So hence, it's not, the HVAC system may not be able to extract the humidity out of the air. And if it's not running, it fills this out. So then you may need to call a technician to be able to diagnose it. So these two wires here, maybe you could split your reds, which would be your hot, on your low voltage side. If the water got here, it would turn it off, because voltage may not be able to go through. And the HVAC guys can add this to the comments, whether you could use your yellow or not on this, going from your say hypothetically from your yellow out to your condenser. Because if you shut your condenser down outside, the compressor is not moving the refrigerant. Hence, if it's not moving the refrigerant, it's not, the A coil may not be getting cool. Hence, it may not produce any moisture. So, and when I say moisture, meaning water or water droplets, and maybe the terminology may be when the temperature is lower than the dew point. If the temperature becomes lower than the dew point, heat goes to cold. So then it develops like, say if you had a Pepsi Cola can and you started to see sweat on the bottom of that, but if it continuously runs and creates sweat, you need to get rid of it. That's what this is for. But this may be just a safety, this wire here on your low voltage side to do the safety. So if the HVAC gurus could add this to the comments. And so I think you split the red wire here. Perhaps you may be able to split the yellow wire feeding, as long as the yellow wire and the common would be going to the condenser. But and then if the water came here and the water and the pump refused to come on for some reason, or if this got blocked up here, then it would shut the whole HVAC system off and protect you from water overflowing and cresting over here and perhaps hitting the drywall, hitting the floor, wherever you do not want water. So the basics of low voltage wiring for an HVAC condensate pump. Thank you.